just completed the Lighthouse exhibit. Incredible, Nathan.
Marcus, you did it.
That was so much fun.
Congratulations on navigating that nightmarish maze of confusion and confounding events.
I think the hardest part about all of it was just not knowing how real things were. Like, is this something that is relevant to the mystery at hand or to the larger scope of Melanoy? So,
yes.
But it was really cool. I loved the vibes. I loved the experience and the conclusion of an arc that has spanned several mysteries.
Yeah.
Almost since the beginning.
Yeah. Genevieve, again, she shows up in the yearbook exhibit for a split second and then hints at in summer camp, and then it really starts rolling with the gala. So, yeah. I have had this conclusion written for 2 years. 2+ years now.
That's crazy.
So
this podcast is barely that old. I guess we're coming up on 3, but that's still crazy. The amount of foresight. Wow. Well, what did I miss? What was here in the Lighthouse exhibit?
You actually caught quite a lot. So, but I will say, and I think you noticed this too. So I had the Lighthouse exhibit fully solvable within the Lighthouse, but you could go to other locations. So, for example, you could go to the jewelry store that was broken into. You could go explore the fort. There's the pub there. Again, I don't know if you ever talked to the pub owner. She's pretty cool.
Never met her.
She's lovely. There's also the real estate developer who you never met either, but that's okay because I didn't know when you were going to trigger the haunt, and whenever you triggered the haunt, you wouldn't be able to leave the lighthouse at that point. So,
right,
I kind of had to make it so you could meet other people and they could give you different information, but you also didn't have to. I don't know if you ever figured this out loud, but I think you kind of internalized this. Cornelius Cuthbert, serious gambling debts. In order to clear his gambling debts, he breaks into the jewelry store, steals a whole bunch. In a panic, he runs back to his dad's lighthouse, where he knows there's a secret grotto, stashes the jewels down there. That's what it was in the burlap sack, I think I mentioned at the end.
I was thinking of looking in there. That was one of the, in that final room, I was like, I kind of want to look in that burlap sack.
All good. But that's why you took your shoes off. In the midst of getting back to the lighthouse from the secret grotto, you heard an intruder, went and confronted them. You got pushed through a window and passed out. So that's why your hands burned, because you did open it in a rush because you're just trying to stash these contraband. That's why your cane has chips of glass in it, like it sparkles, is because you used it to smash the display case. Thus, there's the ghosts. So this was also just a different puzzle that you didn't have to solve, but the exercising the ghosts. So you could have figured out who all the ghosts were and what you would need to
Where were the other ghosts? So there's one in a tape, one in a rope.
So there's one in a tape, one in a rope. There's one in the statue, one in the monkey.
Oh.
One in the paint.
Of course there's one in the monkey.
Is that 6?
And I could have figured this out from the newspaper.
So the newspaper in combination with a photo that is hidden in the study. The portrait, I believe I mentioned, it's bulged a little bit on the desk. Behind that is ledger proving the blackmail that's going on. So Vincent Elwood was also blackmailing the keeper to keep him quiet, essentially. And then a photo of the 6 sailors who died, along with descriptions of them on the back. So exercising them would have involved taking the possessed object that the sailors possess, something that reflects themselves, and then putting it with something that reflects where they're from or their home. So that's why at home with spirits, from the mountain ranges, shores of the Riviera. So all those items went to something.
That explains why I saw some peculiar things.
Yes.
What a cool idea for a puzzle, and what a bummer that it did not come to be.
That is a-okay. It was not necessary. It would they if you had exercised the ghosts, they would have given you more information about what the keeper was doing, why they were tormenting him, and whatnot. I will say each of the items that the ghosts possess is something from another exhibit, like you noticed. The paint was from the yearbook exhibit.
Ah,
The rope, the green climbing rope, was from the summer camp.
right.
Lao Kun is from the gala. The parrot, oh, someone possesses the parrot, sorry, is from the moonshine. Stuffed
The
monkey,
monkey.
betrayal, and the tape recorder is the red room.
Wow, that explains a lot about the overlap. And was the idea behind that fun Easter eggs or something to do specifically with Melanoy the character?
So, yes, fun Easter eggs, but also Melanoy has compiled the Nightmare exhibit, or sorry, the Lighthouse exhibit, as sort of a conglomeration of the past exhibits that you've been to, since you are one of the viewpoint characters, but also the ones that that Genevieve has been to and has been influencing. So, things are showing up that shouldn't be there, but are there. And again, it was hard. You did great with this. It's hard to like point at something and then be like, "Oh, I can't actually explain that," because then no one here knows what's going on except Melanoy, and Melanoy is not going to tell you. And Genevieve might
Right.
be able to figure it out, but she doesn't know who you are right now. Acadia might, but Acadia doesn't know that she's in a dream. So, you did very good with bearing with me with all of that.
Yeah, wow. This definitely is a culmination point, a lot of connecting tissue here. Do you think that you'll want to continue to do this interconnected of mysteries?
I have a plan for the future, the next arc. It's not going to be as centrally focused as this one is, but there'll be other seeds that you'll see, other things we've already seen, other people we've already met, names that have been mentioned that will come back into play, but it won't be. There won't be another Genevieve, alas.
Well, good on her for getting out. I guess.
Yeah.
I assume next exhibit I run through that you're narrating, I'll get to read that note.
Yes. So we will deal with all the repercussions of what the fallout is from the Lighthouse exhibit at the beginning of the next exhibit that you play through. There are going to be some consequences because of this. Because Melanoy, you didn't realize her. Great job. Awesome. She's not in reality yet, but she still is stuck in the museum and can traverse across exhibits. So that's going to be something we're dealing with. And more importantly, Aurelius is dealing with. As well as whatever piece of paper Genevieve slipped you.
How much should a listener know? How should I phrase this?
How much backstory?
What should a listener? Yeah. What should a listener get from all of this? Unseen ones, Pocket Watson, out of pocket Watson. Like what lore drops have we just experienced that should be unambiguous?
Unambiguous. Okay. Pocket Watson is not just confined to the pocket dimension.
He is a physical being.
Yes. Aurelius is the curator, and he answers to someone.
And what did Aurelius say to Genevieve? He listed a name. What was that name?
You're talking about the unknowable?
Yes.
Yes, he said, "The unknowable has made their stance clear. You're to be expelled and expunged from the record of the museum." He also mentioned to Watson, "The unseen have found us. Hopefully the unknowable doesn't know yet." So we have the unseen and we have the unknowable.
Great.
You heard and felt something when you opened the moratoria, and there is a presence now aware of you and is actively seeking to find you.
Awesome. Great. You and I can talk about more details off mic, but it's good to know what now has been spoken into being into the canon of the Murder Museum.
One other small detail that I forgot to mention, but you figured it out anyway. So, the suitcase in the little I Spy collage in the junk room belongs to Vincent Elwood. There's Morse code on the side, ... dash ... That's
golly gee.
That's VE.
Dang it.
If you'd gone back up, the dots on the glove was Morse code ... dash ...
That's I honestly didn't know what dotted glove meant. I thought it was like a glove drawn with dotted lines.
Yes, and that is it's hard to say without being like,
was
intentional. And there's dots and dashes on these gloves.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So you were
well. At least it wasn't essential. What would it have said though?
It would have said VE as well. So this is Vincent Elwood's gloves essentially.
Why do you need to read Morse code when you can just put the gloves on someone and see if they fit?
Perfect. I want to talk a moment about what actually happened in the Lighthouse exhibit in real life. So before it was an exhibit, what actually went down?
Sure.
So the people who died. Like you caught in the poem, which was brilliant. That was just a little Easter egg. And if you figured out what it was before, you could perhaps prevent some deaths. If not, no worries, they're dead. But in real life, Genevieve and Emmeline did investigate the death of the keeper. They came to the lighthouse. Everything happens as it happens. There is a haunt. It's less intense. But what ends up happening is Emmeline does get bit. But because Genevieve is over fiddling with the dumbwaiter, she doesn't know what happened to Emmeline until later when Emmeline passes out and falls down the stairs and she dies. So then at the end of that, the storm comes and actually washes away Wichita Bay. Genevieve survives the storm and finds herself lost without purpose and eventually wanders into the museum.
So her intention in the Murder Museum from the beginning was always to find the exhibit that held her sister?
Perhaps not at the beginning, but once she realized it was a possibility, yeah. And the curator would not let her near that. It is very dangerous to let... Okay, I suppose Aurelius might talk to you about this at the beginning of the next exhibit, but it is very dangerous to let loved ones exist within an exhibit.
Noted. Wow.
Do you have any questions about any of that avalanche from the whole exhibit, from the whole arc?
I think I'm still just letting it simmer. So she acquired that sanguine serpent according to the needs or will of Melanoy?
No. So the sanguine serpent so she acquired the scarab from Melanoy. The scarab released Melanoy from the betrayal exhibit where she was trapped. She was trapped there. So she could now move between exhibits and move around the museum. Not in reality, though. She doesn't quite exist outside the museum. The sanguine serpent allows dreams to become a reality. It essentially takes something from a dream and makes it real. That was hard to get across because, again, I've known that for a hot second, and I know characters who know that, but I don't want to have that character go up to you and be like, "Hey, Marcus, I hear you have a sanguine serpent. Mind if I tell you what that does?" But
right,
because I've tried to have at least one person in every exhibit who knows what it does. In the case, it comes up, and you found Acadia in this one, which is great. So,
yay! Yeah, thank goodness I asked her about that. Dang. No, it's all awesome. It's awesome that you pulled it off. It's awesome, honestly, that I pulled it off.
Oh,
let's all congratulate me.
You saved Genevieve. You saved Emmeline. You solved the murder. You didn't let Melanoy escape into the real world, So I think you did great. And honestly, you didn't have to save Genevieve. It could have ended after her final words, "My fault, my own nightmare."
But that's a dumb way to die. We're not going to let that happen.
Heck no. We're a optimistic podcast.
That's right. Murder Who, we death is never final.
Exactly.
Here at the Murder Museum.
It's all an illusion.
Wow. Yeah, what are we teaching from our podcast?
If you try hard enough, you can bring your loved ones back.
Yikes. Well, I mean, that feels like as good a point as any to wrap up this post show.
Some final words of wisdom.
Yeah. Nathan, you're incredible. I had a lot of fun going through each of these mysteries. And I'm also really excited to see you with a slight bit of a fresh slate. You know, like some of these last mysteries kind of had to do some heavy lifting. Like Betrayal was very tied to Melanoy. Red Room was. This was. I'm excited to see you get to play maybe without nightmares for a bit.
Yes, I am excited too. Having to describe black ink and black nightmare-esque liquid flowing everywhere, it's taking its toll.
Yeah, and we don't want to tread in the same territory too long. Maybe next we can have some purple goop or
exactly
green goop. There's so many different kinds of ichor that you can play with.
Exactly, and I know you will be seeing some ichor in the next exhibit you play through. Actually, ha ha ha.
Man, I'm so happy to hear it. That's exactly what I wanted. Do you want to teaser us on the name or setting of the next mystery?
Ooh, the setting of the next mystery.
Next Nathan mystery.
The next setting of the next mystery is ancient Greece.
Oh no way! About time. You've been playing around with mythology for far too long. It's about time you just get it out of your system.
Right. I'm so excited for it. But thank you for playing, Marcus. It has been a blast.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nathan. And thank you to the listeners who not only listened to an 8-part murder mystery, but also listened to this equal parts us chatting and lore dumps.
Yes, and putting up with...
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, putting up with all the crazy twists and turns of this mystery. And I appreciate all the fan art that's been done on the Discord. That's been fantastic. As well as the many, many theorizing that has been done in the channel. I've not looked at it for fear of influencing my own arc, but I am excited to go see
Maybe
what you
now
guys
you
thought.
can.
Yeah, exactly. Haha.
All right, well, let's sign off. Thanks, Nathan.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, bye.